How soon before recruiters are going to give travelers the tip screen, like at coffee shops, where it goes, "How much would you like to tip me?"
Yeah, maybe that's it. They'll be like, and 10% or
Yeah.
15%
I mean,
for.
the way things are going, I think it's going to be sooner than later. You're going to sign your contract, and the recruiter is going to put a iPad tablet right in front of you and say, 25%, 30%, or 40%. And you're going to be like, what?
Hello and welcome to the Nomadicare Show. This is episode 7, and we are talking all about extensions. How much more money should you make on an extension? So let's dive in.
All right. So our first question today, what should you negotiate for when extending your contract?
Ooh, I like this question. Okay, extensions, rule number 1 of an extension is you always ask for more money on extensions.
Rule 1.
That's number 1. So if you're not asking for money, you're not making more money.
That's a problem.
Yes. There is a minimum amount more you should make on extensions. And then you can always ask for more than that. So let me explain. If you took a contract and the first contract, they gave you travel reimbursement money to get to point A to point B, let's say they gave you $500.
Sweet.
Great. So now you're going to extend. If you do not get that $500 again, are you making more money or less money?
I believe you're making less money.
You would make less money. Yeah, so you're essentially going to extend and say, hey, staffing agency, I'd like to give you a raise. Here's a $500 tip for being so great. Or you can say, hey, remember that $500 you gave me that was part of my pay package for the first one? I want to at least make the same amount again for the extension. I don't want to make less money. So how are you going to get me this $500?
So, side tangent. How soon before recruiters are going to give travelers the tip screen, like at coffee shops, where it goes, "How much would you like to tip me?"
Yeah, maybe that's it. They'll be like, and 10% or 15%
I mean,
for.
the way things are going, I think it's going to be sooner than later. You're going to sign your contract, and the recruiter is going to put a iPad tablet right in front of you and say, 25%, 30%, or 40%. And you're going to be like, what?
That's kind of interesting, though. You choose your recruiter's commission.
Yeah. That'd be cool. Yeah.
That's funny. Okay, so back to extensions. You got to at least make what you made the first time. So think of all the different ways your company gave you money outside of your weekly amount. Usually it's travel, but sometimes companies do like a CEU reimbursement.
Licensure reimbursement. Right?
Licensure reimbursement's a good one. All of these little things are pieces of your pay package and compensation package you want to make back.
Yeah.
So then how can they give you that $500? They might put it in your taxable rate. So you could be like, all right, here's my 13 weeks assignment. I'll divide it by the hours I work, whatever it is. So take the $500, divide it by the hours you'll work over 13 weeks. Maybe they'll give you that much of a raise.
Yeah.
A lot of times as travelers, we're like, hey, put it in the tax-free per diems. Give it to me in my stipends. Give me more money for housing, more money for meals and incidentals. There's 2 reasons that that's not as common. Reason number 1 is maybe they've already maxed out the stipends. You can find that out yourself as a traveler. You do not have to depend on your recruiter to be honest about this.
Mm-hmm.
You go to gsa.gov and you put in your zip code and it will tell you what you're allowed to make.
The
maximum.
zip code for that assignment.
Yeah, good distinction. Yep. Zip code for the assignment because it's based on the cost of living wherever you're working.
Yeah.
And the government decides this, not the staffing agencies. And they'll say, here's the max you can make. You can pay them up to this amount per day. So if you're already maxed out, they are not allowed to give you more tax-free money. So the only place to put that is in increasing your taxable income or maybe giving you another bonus where you just get it in like a chunk of change again like you did the first time. The other reason that they don't put it in stipends, even if it's not maxed out, is because it makes it feel like what's called wage recharacterization in our industry. And this is what the staffing agencies do not want to do because the IRS is not going to like that. They're going to look at the staffing agency and say, it looks like you're just moving money around to avoid paying taxes. So if we think of the point of the stipends, the point is for them to reimburse us and pay for a fair amount for cost of living to help us with housing and to help us with food and incidentals. And if the government is like, well, they were in the same exact zip code for this assignment and you gave them this much for housing and they didn't move, they're like still in the same place why did you suddenly just say, I'm going to give you more tax-free money for housing?
Yeah.
There's not like a logical reason.
Yep.
One tiny, what's it called, rabbit hole off of that is sometimes it does change. There's seasonal rates. So if you're in Colorado and it becomes ski season, you can see on GSA, different months will have different amounts of stipends they're allowed to give you. So if you get a new contract, like an extension, and now you're in a different season where the GSA actually lets you get more, then they can put more money in the tax-free buckets. But otherwise, they can't.
Yeah, I've seen some of those, like Aspen, Colorado during ski season. Like I think it's like $400 a day or something. Like it's an insane amount.
Yeah.
But then the challenge is you can't find a place.
Yeah.
Like
it really does cost that much.
Yeah.
You're like, oh crap.
Yeah, the supply and demand is all messed up.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so now we know for extensions, at a minimum, make the same amount that you made on your first contract, which means don't forget about all those extras they gave you. Get it renegotiated back into. Secondly, ask for more money. Just do it. The worst they can do is say no, but there are some cost associated with starting a traveler. They don't have to pay the second time. It's not huge cost. Like it's running a background check. It's labs. There's a cost to like marketing and finding someone, a cost to not having to move you across the country. They are saving some money. And so they might just say yes, and they might give you more money. So you might as well try.
That's a really good point.
Now, they might say no. And if they say no, it doesn't automatically mean, oh my gosh, they should give this to me. They're not running a background check on me. Sometimes, in order to get you into the first assignment, they might have already taken a really big hit, meaning they're not making even their normal margins. Sometimes they have a client that they're like, we have got to get a traveler in this. This client is not going to work with us anymore if we do not find someone to staff this. So we are going to pretty much like break even or a little bit more than break even on this just to keep this like client happy.
And when you say client, you mean the facility, right?
Yeah, good point. When staffing agencies say clients, they usually talk about the facility, the hospital,
the clinic, the school.
clinic, any of that. That's like their client. And then travelers, I think they just call travelers. Yeah. So they want to keep their hospital happy and they don't want to lose that contract. So maybe then you, as a traveler, get like a really nice paycheck and you don't know. You're like, you don't know they're taking this big like cut and they really like, if they were doing their real margin, wouldn't have paid you that much. So then you come along for an extension and you're like, hey, I want even more money. And they might really not have more money to give you. So them saying no is not an automatic red flag, but you asking is always a good idea because the worst they can say is no. And then you should at least be able to negotiate back in what you made the first time. So that's all you need to know about extensions.
So smart. And I'll just add too, we have a really cool tool on our website called the Fair Pay Calculator. And you can actually put in all the details about your pay package, including things like travel, licensure reimbursements, anything else that is added to that contract for like, a first time kind of cost. And then we do the calculation for you. We kind of break it down and explain it all. And we can even tell you like exactly how much to at least negotiate for more higher per hour. So it's a really helpful tool where you don't have to like do all the math.
It's cool too, because I think you can email it to yourself, right?
Yeah.
And so what's cool about that is you can email it to yourself. It'll say like, ask for $1.73 more per hour.
Yeah.
You can just email that to your recruiter, and just be like, hey, this website says I should ask for this much more because you gave me travel. Can you do it?
Yeah.
So use it as part of your like data that you're showing the recruiter of why you're worth more. If you're kind of like, oh, I don't remember how to explain it, just like send them our email that we gave you. Be like, can you give it to me? Here's the reason why.
Yeah. So smart.
Yeah. And extensions, I think, are a very smart way as travelers to make more money because you lose a lot of money as a traveler in that moving to a new place in between. And so you lose money when you're not working. And then all of that like new down deposit, new this. So I think extending once or twice is like awesome if you like your assignment.
Yeah. And $500 is $500.
Yeah. It is $500. You're correct.
I'm good at math.
You are so good at math. Awesome. All right. Well, thanks for the question. Great question.
Very cool.
If you made it to the end of this episode, what we'd love to know in the comments is what is the most money you've ever negotiated on an extension? We'd love to see the highest. Thanks for joining us. Please like, subscribe, because we have new episodes that come out every week, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Nice to meet you, hello. Never been here before, but I feel like I'm home. Yeah. Put my feet on the road, meet me over the coast. We got places to go. Yeah.